analysis. Kethevane, your reaction, Joe Biden there really sticking by his decision.
Yes, most of the speech by Joe Biden was really a defense of his decision to remove and withdraw those U.S. Troops. And he repeated things that he has said in the past, which is basically that the U.S. troops had been sent back in 2001 for specific goals and that those goals had been met. And so it was time to bring them back. The other thing that he insisted on was that this deal to withdraw troops was negotiated by his predecessor, Donald Trump, and that while he did agree with the withdrawal, the timing of that withdrawal was something that he had really no control over, that was negotiated by the previous president, and that if he had moved on from that timeline, there would have been more violence in Afghanistan. But what was new from Joe Biden was a sort of scathing criticism of both the Afghan government and the Afghan forces. What Joe Biden said that, yes, this unfolded much faster than he or his team had expected, but he did say that the U.S. troops should not be fighting in a war that Afghan forces were not willing to fight. He also criticized the Afghan government for, quote, giving up and fleeing the country, the Afghan forces for not having the will to fight, for not really standing up for their country. And he added that we gave them every tool they would need. We could not provide them with the will to fight for their future. So it kind of seems like the president was putting most of the blame on the Afghan government and the Afghan forces themselves for the speed at which the Taliban retook control of the whole of Afghanistan, including Kabul. But he insisted, as you said, that the buck stops with him, that he stood by his decision, that there was no reason to believe that by staying longer, things would have changed. And he reminded Americans that the goal when they went into Afghanistan was to avenge the 9/11 attacks, not nation building, and that is why there was no reason to keep those troops in the U.S.
Indeed, mentioning, of course, that he wasn't going in there to change the regime, which some people might be sort of looking at and listening to with a bit of a raised eyebrow, I think, because I think it was fairly clear when all this started back in 2001, that was really the aim, wasn't it, to go in there and make those kind of changes?
Yes, this is a way for the U.S. president to try to frame the conversation as if the time that the Americans went in back in 2001, that the goal there was a very specific goal to really target al-Qaeda, to avenge the 9/11 killings, and that there was really no further bigger goal of nation building, that really the goal was to deteriorate the terrorist base there and to prevent any future attacks. In that sense, he is right. Yes, the Americans managed to achieve those goals, but he sort of pushes aside the goal, the overarching goal back then, which was to try to get a stable Afghanistan in order to prevent it from becoming a safe haven for terrorists in the future. So this is an attempt by Joe Biden, and it's not new. He's done it multiple times since he's took office, which is to really frame the 20 years as a sort of very specific and targeted attempt and targeted mission that has been accomplished to avoid talking about the overarching goal that has probably not been met.
Kethevane, we're pausing you in English. You are required on our French channel. You are that talented, and we always appreciate your analysis of the situation. Thank you very much indeed.